I'm going to read Esther chapter 6, verse 1 through 13, 1 through 11, but then I want you to turn over to chapter 5, and I'll go from there. But I'm going to read this, and then we'll go back to that. Esther chapter 6. That night, the king could not sleep. Say that with me. The king could not. There we go. So one was commanded to bring the book of the records to the Chronicles, and they were read before the king. And it was found written that Mordecai had told of Bigthana and Teresh, two of the king's eunuchs, the doorkeepers who had sought to lay hands on King Ahasuerus. Then the king said, "What honor or dignity has been bestowed upon Mordecai for this?" And the king's servants who attended him said, "Nothing has been done for him." So the king said, "Who is in the king's court?" Who's in the court? Now Haman had just entered the outer court of the king's palace to suggest that the king hang Mordecai on the gallows that he had prepared for him. The king's servant said to him, "Haman is there standing in the court?" And the king said, "Let him come in." So Haman came in. And the king asked him, "What shall be done for the man whom the king delights to honor?" Listen to this. Now Haman thought in his heart, whom would the king delight to honor more than me? And Haman answered the king, "For the man who the king delights to honor, let a royal robe be brought which the king has worn, and a horse on which the king has ridden, which has a royal crest placed on his head. Then let this robe and horse be delivered to the hand of one of the king's most noble princes, that he may array the man whom the king delights to honor. Then parade him on horseback through the city square and proclaim before him, 'Thus shall it be to the man whom the king delights to honor.'" Then the king said to Haman, "Hurry, take the robe and the horse, as you have suggested, and do so for Mordecai, the Jew who sits within the king's gate. Leave nothing undone, all that you have spoken." So Haman took the robe and horse, arrayed Mordecai, and led on horseback through the city square, and proclaimed before him, "Thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delights to honor." You may be seated. I want to talk from the theme, God's Providence, Part 2. But I want to pick up my thought from chapter 6, verse 1. It says, "That night the king could not sleep." Yes. I want to talk from the subject, intervention through insomnia. Intervention through insomnia. Yes. Now, if you got your Bible, you can go flip over to chapter 5, and I'll catch up with you in a little bit, in order for it to make sense. Now, over the past couple of weeks, some of you really the same introduction last week, dealing with God's providence. You know, we've seen God deliver people through different means and tactics, amen? Amen. Yeah, we saw the 3 Hebrew boys. We see how God can let a weapon hit you and not totally destroy you. You know, last week I believe we talked about Brother Paul. I believe he was in a bad situation. All of a sudden, his nephew just happened to be in the same vicinity as Paul, who actually was able, who overheard the plot to kill Paul. I told you, in this life, unsaved folks say coincidence. Those of us who are saved say providence. Amen. See, providence is basically when God is working his plan in orchestrating all the events to really to do what he wants to do. God is working behind the scenes. I told you before, God is like a gigantic puppet master. He sits back behind the scenes and he moves people here, there, and everywhere to bring about his desire in. So you got to understand, if you really saved in here, you God's child, nothing in your life just happens. Stop saying, "Isn't it just a coincidence you stopped by my house?" No, that was probably God's providence. See, unsaved folks say coincidence. I'm trying to get into your mind, but dealing with God is providence. You got to understand, just because God does not automatically say, "I am here," that don't mean that he is not there. Y'all understand? Just because God doesn't announce his presence, that does not mean that his presence is not in the house. Y'all missed it, but that's all right. Yeah, that's all right. So let me hurry and get out of here. I see y'all done lost the fire, but that's all right. See, God woke me up this morning. That's all right. See, so I'm good with that. See, everything, everything, I got a few aches and pains, but everything's good with me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't got it, but y'all sit there like, I'm going to pick on. That's fine. Yeah. See, but I know God is good every day, all day, but that's good anyway. Yeah. See, I know things would be a whole lot worse than what they are. Yeah, you get excited about going to work, but you come in here and go spend anyway. See, but when you know that God's showing up good, yes he is. Yeah. So you get to Esther. Esther is a very unique book. See, because in the book of Esther, God's name is not mentioned. So people want to question, why does it belong? God's name is not mentioned, but his acts can be clearly seen from chapter 1 all the way to the end of the book. Yeah. So you got to understand, God got many ways to work things out in your life. Sometimes he'll do it through a mighty, mighty power. Sometimes he'll sit in the back and you don't even think he's there. You think you all alone, but he's in the back, moving somebody in that direction, moving somebody in that direction, touching this person's heart. God got a way of working things out for you. This teaching is trying to show you you cannot box God in. God is so awesome. His ways of deliverance confound you. Good God, thank you, Lord. Why do you think he's always doing this? Watch this. It's to bless you, but to confound the enemy. The devil is no more than an imitator, because when you come to Bible study, you know, just like God has set up his side, the devil imitates God's side. The devil can only do what God sees him do. So all God will do is when the devil makes a move, God will make another move. Why? Because you can only duplicate and imitate. You can't think. You have to understand, you are in the middle of a great chess game. I told you before. And if you read your Bible, it's called spiritual warfare. The devil makes a move, God makes a move, but the devil has limited knowledge of how he does a thing. That's all right. Anyway, feeling right now. So Esther is a book that you don't find God mentioned by name. But you're going to see it. So I'm trying to sum up a few chapters, so Sunday school will make cut into your time.
All right.
Now, book of Esther, let me sum it up for you. Now, over in chapter 1, it opens up with you don't have to go there. I'm going to sum it up to chapter 5. It opens up with King Ahasuerus. He has a wife, Queen Vashti. He wants Vashti to come on out and parade herself around. Vashti said, I ain't coming out today. And the men in the kingdom said, King, you can't let this go on, because you're going to have rebellion running all through the kingdom. So Vashti gets demoted or moved out to sea. But then this opens the door for a woman named Esther, who is actually of Jewish descent and beautiful. Can I talk for a minute? God will sometimes use other folks' rebellion to open a door for you. She made a stand that you're not going to parade me around. Fine. You got moved. But then all of a sudden, Esther is able to be moved. Now watch this. She is not only of Jewish descent, but she's moved to right there where the king is. See, you wonder why you are where you are, but God don't always have to do what you think. He can position you. In the strange and folk that got the position fell out, all of a sudden your name came up. Why all of a sudden, why did that person flip? Because that was by design divine. God will let people's ways mess them up in order for you to slide right in. So in other words, so Esther's now the queen. Now, need to let you know in the same chapter, she got a cousin. His name is Mordecai. Now, that's cousins. So she kind of like cousin, adopted father, so they over there together. Now, Mordecai said, don't tell everybody your identity yet, but keep it to yourself. Y'all hang on with me, I'm trying to get you there. So then, you got chapter 2. Now, while Mordecai just have to opens up. Mordecai overhears a plot. Y'all just hang around chapter 5. I'm walking y'all the way. I'm bringing y'all way to chapter 6. Mordecai hears of a plot to kill the king. He goes and tells cuz, hey, you got 2 folk want to do something to the king. Yeah, he did. So after that, Mordecai's loyalty was recorded, but for some reason, it was never rewarded. Can I talk again? Just because you do something good and folks don't call your name, don't start acting all funny. They didn't call my name. Good God Almighty, it might be the reason they didn't call your name. Just, they didn't recognize me. Well, just hang on in there. God got a way of not not getting you recognized. Y'all remember Joseph in jail, don't you? He said, when y'all get out, remember me. When he got out, they forgot about him. Why? Because God was trying to say, it ain't time yet. Boy, you got a couple more years to sit in this jail. Why? Because I got some plans that ain't coming together. See, we want to do stuff on our time, but God is a God of time, and so God will orchestrate events. He just happened, Mordecai just happened to hear. All right. Y'all want to take the king out? Yes. Go tell him. So now, you get over to chapter 3. I'm coming on up, y'all. Y'all still with me? Hang on in there. All right. So now, all of a sudden, things are good. You got somebody named Haman. Haman is a person just comes up, and he's automatically promoted in the Persian Empire. Second in charge of only the king. Now, somehow the king gives this man all the power. Have y'all ever seen somebody that come on the job, you don't know where they came from, they get good, the boss, they got all the power in the world. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And they're arrogant. Anybody got a Haman in your life? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's not y'all see that's good. Oh, yeah. So Haman is promoted second to the king. Yeah. He's arrogant, and he wants everybody in the kingdom or in the king's court he walks around to bow down. Oh, but then he sees Mordecai not bowing down. And that raises a problem. Yeah. You must not have got the memo. All right. But, so the people said, Mordecai, why don't you bow down to Haman? I'm a Jewish man. Oh, yeah. Can't do it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Won't do it. Oh, yeah. Ain't you ready to happen? Oh, yeah. So these reports, you know how sometimes folks, can I talk a minute? Yeah. You know how folks want to make you bow down? Yeah. And you say, ain't gonna happen. Yeah. Ain't gonna happen. But I'm gonna mess with some of y'all. Some of y'all need to be saying ain't gonna happen. But anyway, y'all still bowing. But anyway, see, Mordecai, he said, I ain't happening. I'm Jewish, but I ain't bowing down. And Haman got hot. All right. He said, okay, I got you, buddy. So right there, here we go. We're coming up to it. Now, right then, Haman sets this major plot. Haman trying to wait for the right moment to kill Mordecai and kill all the Jews at the same time. Hang on there with me, better way. Satan is always behind the scene. This is all being manipulated because Satan wants the Jews destroyed. So now he's working in Haman saying, okay, I want Mordecai dead and I want the Jews dead. So what Mordecai does, he goes to the boss, goes to the king. Yeah. He deceives him to pass a law to get the Jews wiped out. How many of y'all know you got folk that know folk that try to get you wiped out? All right. Yes, sir. Okay, y'all quiet. Keep living. All right. And the reason they do it is because you don't bow down. All right. So now y'all with me? Now, so Mordecai's like, he hears of this plan. In chapter 4, he goes to Esther. Esther, we need some help. Yes. Everybody, they're going to kill all the Jews, and we need you to go and talk to King Ahasuerus. Yes. See, but Esther's like, hold on, wait a minute. I ain't seen the king in a certain amount of time. You just don't show up and see the king. Because if he don't accept you, you can get killed. Haman kind of do it like we do it. Baby girl, you must forget you Jewish too. All right. You must forget you Jewish too. All right. So when they take us out and find out about you, you next. All right. Then he says, how you know you wasn't positioned for a time like this? Can I help y'all better way? How you know where you are now you wasn't positioned for a time like this? Yeah, but you're in a position you might have to put your life on the line. But how you know you wasn't positioned for a time like that? All right. She said, I tell you what, cuz, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So now you go to chapter 5. All right. I tried to do it as fast as I could. So Esther said, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a banquet started. Yeah. So it said, on the third day, Esther chapter 5 went through it. On the third day of the feast, Esther put on a royal robe. She entered the court, and basically when she walked in, the king sees her and puts out the royal scepter, meaning come on up and talk to me. She ain't nothing but divine favor. See, he could have rejected you, but when you in God's will, you don't have to worry about folks that might say no because God is working behind the scenes. You ain't heard God in none of this, but God is working behind the scenes. You think folks just doing stuff on your job and in your life. God is working behind the scenes. banquet. In other words, I got a banquet.
Oh, yeah.
And I want you to let Haman come.
Yeah.
Then down in verse 6, he said, while they were drinking wine, the king said to Haman, king said to Esther, now tell me what you really want.
All right.
Baby girl, tell me what you really want.
All right.
Esther replied, this is my request, my deepest wish. Verse 8, church.
Yes.
If I have found favor with the king, and if it please the king to grant my request and do what I ask, please come with Haman tomorrow to the banquet I prepared. In other words, I got a banquet. I want you to bring Haman, and I want you there.
Yes.
So, okay, baby girl. You got it? You got it?
I'll be there.
You got it? Yes, sir. Showtime. Yes, sir. So, look at verse 9. I want y'all to. Haman was happy. He was a happy man as he left the banquet. When he saw Mordecai sitting out at the palace gate, not standing up, trembling nervously, Haman got, in other words, he's happy, he's getting ready to go to the banquet. He's out there walking to see Haman. He see Mordecai still not bowing down.
All right.
His rage got even worse. Verse 10 said, however, he restrained himself. He went on home. Haman gathered his friends. Y'all watch this. Haman gathered his friends and Zeresh's wife and boasted to them. Y'all see that, right? Verse 11. Yes. And boasted to them about the great wealth and his many children. Y'all see that, right? And bragged about the honor the king had given him and how he had been promoted over all the nobles of the officials. Then Haman added, and that's not all. Queen Esther invited only me and the king himself to a banquet tomorrow. And she invited me to dine with her and the king tomorrow. He bragging.
Yes, sir.
You know y'all know them folk. They dig ditches, but then they talk about, I got rights you don't have. Can I put it like we said? You dig a ditch, you better dig two. Now, verse 13 was what I want y'all to see as we get to this. Then he added, but this is all worth noting, and this is all worth nothing unless I see Mordecai the Jew just sitting there. He's got a fixation with Mordecai. All that stuff don't matter. I hate him. How many of y'all some folks that just hate you? They see you, their blood just boils. Look what his wife said. Verse 14. So Haman's wife Zeresh, look at it. His wife and all his friends suggested set up a sharpened pole that stands 75 feet tall. And in the morning, ask the king to impale Mordecai on it. When this is done, you go your merry way to the banquet with the king. Displeased Haman, and he ordered the pole set up. As we get out of here, the stage is set. So for those that don't know, anybody seen the movie Shaka Zulu? You know they had those big old poles and people stand on. Yeah, that's impaled. In other words, 75-foot pole sharpened in, and they put you on it, and you up there on that pole, from one end to the other. So they put up the big pole. How many of y'all know there's some people put up some big poles?
All right.
To impale you and hang you on. Well, they ain't got no pole out there yet, but if you only knew what happened, close the door. If you only knew the conversation was taking places about you, they got a 75-foot pole erected and they plan to impale you on it. Matter of fact, they've already given the orders. They expect and they getting it set up. They said, okay, tomorrow we want Mordecai on that pole. So he gave the orders. Chapter 6, church, and I'm going to try to hand it over to the Sunday school teacher.
All right, great job.
Called intervention by Insomnia. So in other words, we got this situation. You got Haman that has made a plot to kill Mordecai and all the Jews. Mordecai asked Esther to intervene, and she did. Now all of a sudden they got a banquet set, but Mordecai has said, get a pole, because I want tomorrow, say tomorrow with me. Tomorrow I want Mordecai dead. And he had the power to bring about. So that day is said. To me, if I close the book right now, Mordecai's a dead man, and that's the end of the story. But how many of y'all know that God is the author of the book? I said like y'all did. How many of y'all know God ain't through writing the story of your life yet? I know it look bad, but he's the author. He's the one that can fix the ending. Nothing is better than a good movie when it look like the hero about to die. Then all of a sudden the twist changed. Like a little bit of what is a movie called Clash of the Titans. And the boy fell down, but then he wrote with the characters. Chapter 1 opens and all it says was that night the king had a trouble sleeping. So he ordered and attended to bring the book of history of his reign so it could be read to him. First of all, that night, and all the other nights, a few hours before, a plan is made to kill Mordecai. That night. Just a little bit of y'all missed it. The plan was set that day. But when bedtime came, somebody couldn't sleep. That night. The king is the one who couldn't sleep. It's called insomnia. You know, when you got sleeping, you got ZZ Quill. Remember when you can't sleep? I guess they had no ZZ Quill back then. Yeah. He said, well, I couldn't sleep. Now, I don't know about you. Y'all got to help me. If I'm the king and I can't sleep, there's a million things I can find to do. And have somebody read a book to me. Y'all missed it. Y'all acting funny. You all are a multi-billionaire. And you can't sleep. You'll be a million one thing you can find to do. Besides, bring me a book and read to me. In other words, he can't sleep because God said, I want to talk to you. He couldn't sleep. He said, I tell you what. He said, bring my attention. Bring me the history of my reign. First of all, he couldn't sleep that night. He decides to read a book that night. But the book he read contained his reign. Oh, it don't say God nowhere, but I see God written all over that. Isn't it strange how folk have made a plan for you to be exited, but all of a sudden they can't rest. Bring me the evaluation form. Y'all telling me to fire them, but they got good scores. So you telling me to give them life in jail, but the charges don't add up. He gets the book. Verse 2 says, in those records, look what he discovered. An account. In those records, he discovered an account of how Mordecai had exposed the plot of the two eunuchs who guarded him. In other words, just because Mordecai wasn't rewarded then, that don't mean it ain't coming. Some of y'all worried about the good you did. Don't nobody call my name. God got a way of doing it when it needs to be done. God puts it to the point you can't sleep. Bring me a book, and the book that I read happened to be reminding me of Mordecai. Now, he don't know about the plot, but he says, wait a minute, verse 3, did we ever reward Mordecai? Verse 3, what reward or recognition do we ever give Mordecai for this? The king answers, the tenant replied, nothing has been done.
Nothing.
But you did good.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't nobody pat you on your back.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all know how we get sideways. Save his life, ain't gonna do it no more.
All right.
Oh, don't play with me. Don't play with me. I saved his job, he gonna do. Watch it happen again. I can see him fall off a cliff. Don't play with me. That's all right, but anyway. Y'all know how you do this job. I saved him that time. The order didn't get him recognized me. Let the order get missed again. Time to go, walking straight down the dock. Oh, that order. It's on and on. Y'all know how we get to see, but you got to still do right when you do right. Do right. So he reads and says, what do we ever do for Mordecai? The point is this, God got a time frame. I ain't gonna let him sleep. And then he just opens up a certain book, and a certain book talks about an act that was done way back then.
All right.
Look what it is. Now, look how this reads. In 3 he said, was there any recognition? They said no. Verse 4.
All right.
Who is that in the outer court? The king replied. Does your Bible say like mine? As it happened. Y'all see that?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Haman had just arrived in the outer court. Ain't it funny?
Oh, yes.
He came out. He asking about a reward. Talking about Mordecai. And the person that dug the ditch just walked in.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't that ironic?
All right.
The text says, and it just happened. For us, it ain't coincidence, it's providence. Ain't it funny how he said, wait a minute, Mordecai, then who's that out there? That's Haman. Tell my right hand man to come here.
All right.
I like what Dottie people say. Just when I need it most.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Haman, he said, who's that out there? Haman, bro, Haman, come here. He says in verse 5, so the attendant replied to the king, Haman is in the court. He said, bring him in. So Haman came in and said, King, what should I do to honor a man that pleases me? Haman is like, y'all know, have you ever seen anybody stuck on themselves?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do I want to be good or bad today? I'm going to be bad today.
All
Reason you ain't asking. Some of y'all might be, yeah. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who the bears on the I am. Anyway. Yeah, don't play with me. That's all right. I feel like man. So Haman said to the king, he said, what should I do? Haman thought to himself, who would the king wish to honor more than me?
Oh, yes.
Oh, man, you want to honor? He said in his heart,
Oh, yes.
who would he want to do that for more than me? So since it's going to be me, let me make it grand.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Be careful who you set up.
All right.
Because who you set up, you might be setting up for.
All right. All right.
So he replied, as I just said, if the king wishes to honor somebody, this is what you do.
Yes. Yes.
Since I think you're talking about me, this is what you do. We're going to do it big since you're talking about me. Yes, sir. He says, he said he should bring out one of the king's own royal robes, as well as a horse that the king himself had ridden with. One royal emblem. Give him a horse. Oh, let's make it good.
Yes.
Let the robes and the horse be handed over to one of the king's most noble officials.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, fix it up for him. And let him see that the man whom the king wishes to honor is dressed in the king's robe. Lead him through the city on a horse. In other words, dress him up and give him a parade. That's how you honor somebody, king. Since I really think you're talking about me, I want your robe, your horses, and give me a parade. How many of your enemies want a parade at your expense? He said, have the officials shout as they go. This is what the king does for somebody who wishes to honor him. In other words, give him a robe, give him the horses, give him a parade. And that's why I say, hey, this is what the king does. This is what the king does. Verse 10.
All right.
Whoever teacher, you can have it. Verse 10, the king. King of Syria said, excellent. The king said to Haman, quick. Not tomorrow. Not late in the night. But do this quickly.
All right.
Take the robe
Yes.
and my horse
Oh, yes.
and do as you just have said to Mordecai the Jew. Everything that you just did or wanted for yourself,
Yes.
go and give it to the joker you trying to kill. God got a way when folks are trying to dig a ditch for you. What they trying to do to hurt you, they turn around and bless your name. He said, now watch this. He says, now, leave out nothing you have suggested.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes, sir.
Don't you leave out one thing. So Haman took the robe. We're going to do part 3 the next week. Haman took the robe. Yeah, he did. Y'all missed that. Haman took the robe. See, because he had the authority too. He took the robe that he thought was for him. Come in, D. Greg. Come in, D. Greg. He took the robe that he thought was for him.
All right.
And he placed it on the king's horse and led him to, he placed all of them on Mordecai.
All right.
Now, go ahead. Now, you couldn't stand to look at it. It made you sick to your stomach. But now you got to take your suggestion. You got to take your suggestion that was orchestrated for you and take it, not privately, like your plan was, but you got the public list. What's done in the dark, God naked. He got to get that robe. Then they're going to sit back and say, oh, yeah, by the way, somebody got to be on this Mordecai ride with this robe. And somebody shouting, this is what the king will. They say after that, Mordecai returned to the palace gate. But Haman hurried home, dejected and completely humiliated. Part 2 is going to be next week. But I thought Haman was supposed to be killed. See, God could intervene.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
God brought all this to pass by letting a man not be able to sleep. Intervention through insomnia. I am done.